Hey friends, how are you today? So I was in a respectful, exchange of dialogue with someone important, and sorry, the sun. Anyways, so this person made a comment, and I guess what I have to say in general when it comes to me, when it comes to why I have a YouTube channel, why I open my mouth, why, say these things. It's really not to. I think the cool thing about it is I don't ever boast about knowledge. I don't boast about the truth. I don't really know everything. I just kind of reveal what is in my register. And I can easily post verses and scripture, and I can just repeat what every pastor, minister, I can do that. I can do all that. I can do the hi and all that. I can do all of that stuff, but why? Why be something that I'm not? Why present a gift that wasn't really mine to begin with? Why? It's almost like if you weren't ordained as a priest minister, if you don't really know how to really utilize the gift of prophecy, things like that, it's really not your jurisdiction to falsify yourself as that. And I think when it comes to visions, prophecy, dreams, things like that, everyone gets them. And I feel like there's some people in the world who still feel like, they're the only ones who get it because they're special, because they know scripture. Scripture isn't what everyone thinks it really is. You really have to determine which God, number one, are you getting scripture from? Because if anybody is trying to school me saying that I am all over the place and that the knowledge and things that I share really come from other sources of truth, how would I know that there are two gods in the Old Testament, number one? And then, how I don't just make this stuff up. There is something out there that does speak. It speaks to my heart. It speaks to my gut. And it allows me to use my voice box and my mind as an example. And it also uses my body as an instrument to exemplify the truth. And the truth is, you just open yourself. And I think if the secrets and the mysteries of all of whatever is spiritual and divine, it's not just all about God and Jesus, you know what I mean? It's really about what all took place before this earth plane had established itself. And I think some people only limit themselves to only just, the Garden of Eden and Revelations, from the beginning to the end. And it's like, if they only knew that there were some odd of years before the garden took place. You have to really do a lot of connecting the dots, a lot of meditation and prayer, and I like to use different words of vocabulary. I do tend to lean more new age when it comes to my vocabulary, because it's predominantly a new age and millennial based Christ movement right now. So you can't be old school too often. But I kind of take it as a good, paddle on the behind that, hey, someone of a well-respected perspective, well-respected knowledge, of all this, someone who's very great at the scriptures, has said a comment to me, and I respect that. But the thing is, I never want to emulate, duplicate. Stop it, bottle. I think we're all people who come from different backgrounds, and what is the whole point at everyone acting like the same? Hey, even the other day when I was talking about speaking in tongues, I'm like, why do people speak in tongues when, the angels of God, God himself, if you were to think about a benevolent or angelic presence, they don't have organs. So why would they use a tongue or use your body to use a tongue? And the only thing you can think of in terms of animal that uses its tongue as a sense of presence is a snake or a serpent, right? I don't just make this stuff up. So that's why I titled my channel Words for Wisdom, because, everything's in layers. And I don't know, it just fascinates me that people in general who follow only one part of the path of faith and righteousness, they're just here. And to their knowledge, they just know what's here. And they're so afraid of stepping out of here. And I'm someone who's always exemplified, I have no fear. And, I take the huge steps to go say, you know what, I'm going to take a leap and trust myself and trust my faith and trust my heart, that I know my origins of where I started, but the simulation that started this all is what boxed us in. And so when a lot of people say Saturn, the cube, and blah, blah, and blah, that's just all the relation of what it means, is you're willing to indoctrinate yourself in a systematic, schizophrenic mindset that only allows you to think that certain things took place, and you don't step outside of that. That's why half the world is blind right now, or sleeping, as we say. And it's not that it's sad, it's just that it is what it is. The light codes on my arm. Hey, light codes. That looks like a cross, doesn't it? I don't make this up. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm a weirdo. And I love that I'm a weirdo. I love that I'm strange. I love and appreciate that I'm crazy. And I love that crazy people follow me. And we're all a family, and we all relate to each other. And I think, had we not had a similarity of remnants to our journey, we wouldn't be connected. And of all of my YouTube experiences, I've only had one negative comment. Of 610 videos, I believe, I've had one negative comment. And it was because I said something of the Catholic denomination. And I mentioned purgatory, and then I remember that just caused a whole... I've had 500 views on that video, but it was like one negative comment, and then everyone else was just like stabbing that wound. And I was like, wow, people are not that receptive to... I'm like, the Vatican really jacked us up, because people they're so... Here's the thing, in general, what I'm trying to say is the things that we're told to oppose, they are the keepers of the truth. So whatever is telling you, don't believe this is not what you're to follow, this is upside down, this is backwards, we don't go this way, this is the way we're supposed to go, everything's actually supposed to be in polar opposite of that. Because if all the synchronizations that I've gotten to this point, even down to this morning with what I said, everything is in a geomagnetic reversal of the poles. I technically started thinking the Earth probably isn't going to flip. Maybe there isn't a Nibiru that pole shifts us literally, where we topple over. We go back to original. I was thinking, hey, if this whole connection to Venus, follow me, Venus is also recognized as Virgo, Virgo the Virgin. The Virgin is in Mary, Mary the morning star. The Virgin is the morning star. It's in scripture, it's kind of in Catholic scripture, but in Revelations, in the King James Bible, and also the Prophet Muhammad in the Muslim teachings, it's the same thing where they talk about this star returns. It comes from behind the sun and it goes in front where the earth can see. And there's a synchronization that I had also with, I don't know if this is all over the place, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm having a diarrhea of proving myself, and I shouldn't have to do that. But I even had a video. Did I put that video out about halos? And how the halos, a lot of people thought, oh, crown chakra. But it's really about the presence of what was placed in front of the star. And the star is the only morning star, which is Venus. So anything that you saw, like if you Google search halos and angels, you kind of almost see that the halo comes off the shoulders as if it were a binary star behind the being. There's no way in biblical text that I can explain that, or vocabulary of a pastor that I can explain that. And a lot of people say, oh, we don't go that far. And that's the problem. When you teach how you're limited, you limit others who are following you. That's just my explanation. And I stick to my statement, and I will never like regret or take back anything I put out, because I know everything comes from my heart, and I know that I'm being led in some way.